Getting pulled over by the cops is probably the worst thing that could happen to anyone. And I should know, because I did. And before you ask, no, I didn't get arrested, and no, I didn't go to jail. But I will come out and say that it was my fault, and I take full responsibility for it. And before you guys comment on what I did, it actually wasn't that bad to begin with. So anyway, let's get right into it, shall we? In September of 2025, it was just like any normal day. I had class in the morning at 9 o'clock a.m. and I was pretty much ready for the day to start. Half asleep of course, but mostly ready for anything. But boy, I wasn't ready for this particular day. So anyway, I start class, learn something, write a couple of notes, and just listen. Somewhere around 10:15 or so, my professor cuts the class short and calls it a day, because there weren't that many kids there anyway. So rather than going home, I decided to visit my grandma, because that's what grandkids do. So I get in my car and drive off thinking nothing of it, but for some reason a part of me decided to take the back roads, specifically to avoid the cops on the highway. So I did. And what happened next, I did not think twice about. While on my way to grandma's house, I stopped at several stop signs. The first one was okay. The second one I also stopped at, but the third one was a different story. Not to mention there was a cop car that casually pulled up behind me from another street he turned at. So at the third stop sign, I stopped at it. Not just all the way though, and the cop saw everything. I'm not kidding. When he pulled up closer to me, he literally tailgated me. When I stopped at the fourth stop sign and turned onto the next street to try to avoid him, that's when I heard, "Ah, shit!" I quickly pulled the car over to the side of the street, put my hazard lights on, and the cop pulled up from behind me. In my head, I was panicking. I didn't know what was going to happen or what he was going to do to me. So the cop got out of the car and stepped towards my car, and then he said, "Hello, I'm Officer blah blah blah. I'm with the blah 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 police department. The reason why I stopped you today is because you ran a stop sign back there." I did? Yes. "Can I see your license and registration, please?" So without hesitation, I pulled out my wallet as fast as I can and reached for my license. Then I reached into my glove box and pulled out my registration, handing it to the officer. He said, "Be right back," and walked back to his car to run my license. At that moment, I was just sitting there regretting every second of my life. I'm not kidding when I say I was shaking so bad, but at the same time I was thinking if I did stop completely at that third stop sign because I swore I did. Those minutes felt like hours. But in a couple of minutes, the officer comes back and asks, "Can I see your insurance card?" So I looked through it in my stack of papers I had, but eventually I found it. He was heading back, scans it, then comes back not even a minute later and says this: "Alright, so you have two options. I can issue you a citation or you can fight it in court." So I just said, "I'll take the citation," because I wasn't going to fight it in court because I know what I did. A few seconds later, he comes back and says, "So here's your citation. It's $35. You have 30 days to pay it. You can pay it either here at this location or online on this website." So I said, "Okay." Then he says, "Before I let you go, I'm going to need you to sign right here." So I signed the paper, and a few seconds later hands me a copy of my citation along with my license, registration, and insurance. And the officer goes, "Have a nice day." And just like that, I drove off. At that moment, I was thinking how disappointed I was in myself. I was still shaking and a bit sad. And I sort of lost interest in visiting my grandma. But for some reason, despite the stuff I went through, I eventually made it to grandma's house. I didn't tell her right away because I didn't want her to get worried. But she was very happy to see me. After that, I got lunch and went home. So long story short, my parents helped me pay off my ticket. Thank you guys. I'm back on the road like all the other NPC drivers. The last couple of days I was a bit scared to drive, but after 2 weeks, it kinda went away, and I wasn't scared anymore. If there's one thing I've learned from this experience, it's that you always stop completely at a stop sign. What I did was a roll stop, where you would sort of stop but not all the way while your car was in motion, and that was what led me to being pulled over. This was also the only picture that I got of my traffic stop, so at least there's proof. Not really anything over the top, but that was what happened. It was also my very, very first time getting pulled over. So that was an experience. So that's the wrap. I hope you guys liked the story, and if you have a crazy traffic story, please tell it in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. As always, see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.